Hi there. So in this video, I'm actually going to talk about something controversial, and my hope is to change your view on something fundamental, especially if you're a marketer. So one of the things that we've been taught in marketing is that always segment the data. Always think about the segments of people, where people are coming from, to in order to actually design your marketing message. And this is something that we've heard about for many years. And I'm going to talk about a conversation that I had with the client, and I'll say what I told the client, and then I'll explain to you my reasoning, and hopefully you'll listen to it and you'll be like, oh, this is interesting. I hadn't considered that. So, um, for illustration, let's say I'm working for Dyson, and this is the product page that I'm working on. Again, this is based on the conversation I had with the client. So, if this is the product page, and this is how it's laid out and all of that good stuff, and what the client told me was that he said, hey, Rishi, one of the things to consider is the context of the traffic that's coming to our product page, because we are bringing some people in through a video ad. Some other people or other groups of people are coming in through static ads with some copy. And then there's a third group that is coming to actually a landing page from an ad, and then they're navigating to the product page from that landing page. So they have completely different context. Shouldn't we think about segmenting out our product page and creating different messaging for different audiences? Now, this is a great idea in theory, and it's absolutely the right thing to do once you've got to a state of maturity, right? We had just started working with this client, and we were in the first 90-day period. So my response was, we should not do that. What we need to do is focus on copy without looking at the context of where they're coming from or what they're being sold, which sounds very silly, right? But I said that we are focused on we shouldn't get pulled into what the video said, because that's going to influence my writing. We shouldn't get pulled into what's happening in terms of context. We should really think about a singular problem, which is we're trying to convert someone who's never bought from us before. We're going to make some assumptions about their level of awareness. We're going to make some assumptions about their level of motivation, and we're going to think about them in general terms. At this point, I want to focus out of the audience a little bit and just think about them as a group of people and say, how would I craft my message to appeal to a broad base? And then once we have our winner and we know of a recipe that works generally for all of these different mediums, then we can start saying, okay, how can we now personalize this recipe for these different channels? So I think the way to start is to first think about, how do I generally improve optimization for these different channels without looking at the channels? Because I think if you look at it, it will influence your thinking, and then kind of get into specific strategies for these different channels. So why am I saying this? There are two reasons for this. The first one is complexity. Can you imagine how complicated things will be if, as a marketer, you say, okay, I need to now take care of these multiple variables? I just think it's foolish to try and focus on multiple variables. It's a sexy idea, but it's very impractical. You have to reduce the number of variables that you're working on, and I like to reduce them to one. So that's why the lens that I look at is converting first time buyers. That's it. I don't care about anything else. And that's the lens I'm going to look at. But you can break it into, let's say, mobile traffic, and that's the lens. Mobile traffic is the lens you're looking at, and that's fine. But avoid the temptation of looking at multiple variables, because it's like a multi-level chess game. Each variable increases the permutations and combinations exponentially, and I just don't think it's useful. The second reason why I don't like it is because it's a static view. Clients are constantly experimenting and testing ideas. If let's say you looked at the video content that brought people from the ad to this product page, and that strongly influenced your idea, great. You come up with a concept, you launched it, and you're just having a casual conversation with the client saying, hey, what's happening with the video ad? And they're like, oh, we stopped that campaign. That wasn't actually working for us. We've now got a different campaign. It's a lead magnet campaign, and that's bringing people to the product page. Well, thanks a lot. I'm screwed now because I did not know this. And so I think that best way to avoid that is to essentially not have a concept that is dependent on these variables. Then even if the client makes changes, which they invariably will, it will not negatively adversely affect your concept. So I hope this helps.